Every man alive is carrying one woman in his memory that he never talks about. Not always his first love, not always his wife. One woman who 30 years later still walks through his mind when a certain song comes on the radio. And here is the part almost nobody understands. She was almost never the most beautiful woman he ever knew. She was not the one who loved him the hardest, or the one who chased him, or the one who sacrificed the most to keep him. In fact, the women who try the hardest are usually the ones men forget first. That sounds cruel, and it is, but it is also the key to everything I am about to tell you. Because the woman a man never forgets did 5 specific things. Most of the time, she did not even know she was doing them. And once you see these 5 things clearly, you will understand male memory in a way that most women never do, no matter how long they have been married. So here is what I am going to give you today. The 5 things that burn a woman into a man's mind permanently. Why each one works on his psychology, so you are not just taking my word for it. And the 4th one is different from all the others because the 4th one can only happen once, in one single moment, and it cannot be planned or repeated. If you were ever there for that moment with a man, I can promise you he has not forgotten you, and he never will. So stay with me until the 4th one because it changes how you see every man you have ever loved. Let me start with the truth that sits underneath all 5. Men do not actually remember women. Men remember who they were when they were with her. Read that again if you need to. His memory of you is really a memory of himself, the version of himself that existed in your presence. If he stood taller around you, if he laughed easier, if he liked the man in the mirror while you were in his life, then you are not just a memory to him. You are a version of him that he lost. And a man will spend the rest of his life quietly missing the best version of himself. Keep that in your mind because every one of these 5 things works through that one door. The first thing she did is that she made him feel capable, not corrected. And I want to be honest with you because this one stings a little. So many good women, especially women who have raised children and run households and held entire families together, slide into a habit of managing the man they love, reminding him, improving him, redoing the thing he just did because he did not do it quite right. It comes from love and it comes from being the responsible one for 40 years. But to a man, being managed feels like being told every single day in 100 small ways, you are not quite good enough as you are. The woman he never forgets did the opposite. When he fixed something, she let it stay fixed. When he told a story, she did not correct the details in front of other people. When he made a decision, she let him own it, even the imperfect ones. And when he did something well, she said so out loud, plainly, like it was a fact and not a favor. Psychologists talk about how a man's sense of worth is built on feeling competent, on feeling that he is useful and respected by the people he loves. She fed that without even trying. So years later, when his confidence has taken the beatings that age hands out to every man, his mind drifts back to the one woman who looked at him like he was already enough. Not a project, not a fixer-upper, a man. He never forgets her because around her, he never had to audition. The second thing she did is that she heard the sentence underneath his sentence. Most people listen to answer. She listened to understand. When a man over 50 says, work is just busy right now, there is almost always a second sentence hiding underneath it. Something like, I am scared I am becoming replaceable. When he says, I am fine, the sentence underneath is often, I do not have anyone I am allowed to fall apart with. Most women hear the surface words and respond to the surface words. The unforgettable woman heard the one underneath. And here is what that looked like in real life. He would say something small, almost throwaway, and she would go quiet for a second and then ask one gentle question that went straight to the center of it. Not prying, not therapy talk, just, that sounded heavier than you made it sound. You okay? And the man would feel something he almost never feels, the feeling of being seen without having to explain himself. Men are starved for that. They will not tell you this. Most of them do not even have the words for it, but being truly heard by a woman is so rare in a man's life that when it happens, it files itself away in a special place in his memory. Because think about what his daily life actually is. Co-workers hear his output. Buddies hear his jokes. Even family often just hears his wallet and his logistics. She heard him. And a man never forgets the one place he ever felt fully heard. The third thing she did is that she stayed warm without begging. And this is where I have to slow down, because this is the one so many women get backwards, and it costs them everything. When a woman feels a man slipping away, her instinct is to move closer, text more, ask more questions, explain her feelings again, longer this time with more detail, hold on tighter. And I understand that instinct completely. It comes from fear, and fear is honest. But here is the brutal truth about male psychology. Chasing reads as pressure, and pressure erases attraction, and worse than that, it erases memory. The women who begged are the women men worked hardest to forget, because remembering them means remembering his own guilt. The unforgettable woman did something completely different, and it takes more strength than chasing ever did. She stayed soft, she stayed kind, and she stayed exactly where her self-respect told her to stand. She did not punish him, and she did not pursue him. If he pulled back, she did not fill the silence with panic. She let the silence sit there, and she went on living her actual life, seeing her friends, tending her garden, laughing at things that had nothing to do with him. Not as a game, not as a strategy she read somewhere. It was simply who she was. And to a man, that combination is almost mythical. Warmth without neediness, standards without coldness. He learned something in his bones that no words could ever teach him. This woman would love me, and this woman would survive me. That second part is what makes his chest tighten 20 years later. You cannot haunt a man you beg to stay. But a woman who held her ground with a soft voice, she moves into his memory and she never pays rent. Now, the fourth one. And I need you to really be here with me for this, because everything else on this list can happen over months and years. This one happens in a single moment, and most men only allow it once or twice in an entire lifetime. The fourth thing she did is that she saw him break, and she did not flinch, and she never used it against him. Somewhere in almost every man's past, there is one moment where the walls failed. A diagnosis, a funeral, a job loss at 55 that felt like a death, a night when the strong one, the provider, the man who always has the answer, sat on the edge of the bed and came apart. Now understand what that moment is for a man. He has been trained since he was a little boy that his worth depends on never doing exactly what he is doing right now. So while he is breaking, a second fear is running underneath the first one, and the second fear is bigger. She is watching me. She will never see me the same way again. What she did in the next 60 seconds decided whether she became unforgettable. The unforgettable woman did not panic and she did not smother. She did not say much at all, actually. She stayed. She put a hand on his back. She made it absolutely clear, without a speech, that nothing she was seeing changed anything about how she saw him. And then, and this is the part that seals it forever, she never brought it up again as a weapon. Never in an argument, never as leverage, never as a story told to her sister on the phone. Memory researchers have a name for what that moment becomes in his mind. They call it a flashbulb memory, a memory formed under intense emotion that stays vivid for life while ordinary days blur and disappear. His mind took a photograph of who was in the room when he hit the floor. If you were in that photograph and you handled it with grace, you were in his head for good. Men spend their whole lives guarding one door. She is the one he opened it for, and she did not burn the house down. There is no forgetting that. There is no version of his life where he forgets that. And the fifth thing she did is that she left room for him to miss her, and when things ended, she walked out with grace. Here is something the movies never taught us. A man cannot miss a woman who never leaves his line of sight, and he cannot romanticize an ending that was full of screaming. The unforgettable woman had a life of her own the entire time. Her own people, her own mornings, her own money, her own joy that did not depend on him. Which meant there were always parts of her he had not finished discovering. There is an old finding in psychology called the Zeigarnik effect, and it simply means the mind holds on to unfinished things far longer than finished ones. A song that cuts off before the last note plays in your head all day. A woman a man never fully figured out plays in his head for decades. And if it ended, she did the hardest thing of all. No revenge. No 20 text messages. No campaign to make him hurt the way she hurt. She told him the truth plainly. She wished him well, and she meant it. And then she was gone. Fully gone, living well somewhere out of view. To him, that grace is the last chapter of the book, and it is the chapter he rereads. Because rage is easy to walk away from. A man can spend years justifying himself against an angry ending, but dignity gives him nothing to push against. All he is left with is the quiet growing suspicion that he lost someone rare, and that she knew it before he did. So let me put all 5 in your hands at once. She made him feel capable, not corrected. She heard the sentence underneath his sentence. She stayed warm without ever begging. She saw him break once, and she did not flinch, and she never weaponized it. And she lived a life full enough that missing her was possible, right up to walking away with grace when it mattered most. Now notice what is not on this list. Being the youngest, being the thinnest, being the most agreeable, the most available, the most self-sacrificing. None of that made the list, because none of that is what male memory holds on to. Every single one of these 5 things is available to a woman at 45, at 60, at 75. Not one of them requires youth. Every one of them requires something better, a woman who genuinely likes herself. Because remember where we started. A man does not remember the woman. He remembers who he was around her. The woman he never forgets is the one who made him feel like the man he always hoped he was, and then showed him she could live beautifully without him. That combination, being his safest place and his own person at the same time, that is the whole secret. That is the woman who never leaves a man's mind. And if one specific man came into your thoughts while I was talking, maybe a man from years ago, maybe the man asleep down the hall right now, then I want to hear from you. Which of these 5 things do you already do without even trying? Tell me in the comments just the number 1 through 5. Your answer might be exactly what another woman here tonight needs to read. And if you are wondering whether the man in your life right now is truly the one, I made a video on the 5 things that always happen when a man is genuinely meant for you. And the 4th sign in that video is the rarest thing a man can ever do. I think you should watch that one next. And if understanding men is something you want more of in your life, subscribe and stay with me, because every week right here, we make sense of what men feel but cannot say.